All right, we're here with Atraxa Grand Unifier. Some mad lad in my comment section said this is better than Nissa, and I completely disagree. I don't even think it's close. This Atraxa has a chance to play against higher tier commanders, which already puts it at that, offset of the advantage of the additional colors it can run over Nissa. And Nissa not only can play against weaker things than this, so they have an overlap, right? Let's say this is bracket 4 and 3. Well, Nissa would be bracket 3 and 2. So sometimes its offsetted commander matchups are bracket 2, where Atrax's sometimes offsets are bracket 4, right? You can play against Rusko and stuff like that against this, and just that alone, those matchups are just going to make this worse. You can auto concede, so you only play into the weaker commanders and stuff, but I don't really like to do that ever, whether I'm recording or streaming. I just don't like to auto concede unless it's painfully obvious I'm screwed, which it does happen. Another benefit of Nissa over this is Nissa makes all of your early, say, mana dorks a huge problem, because if they go unanswered, Nissa just kills your opponent, and out of the command zone, out of nowhere, you have a Craterhoof Behemoth, whereas Atraxa as a 7/7 flyer is scary, can sort of just be answered. It is a disadvantage of not being a planeswalker. Dies to removal spells, gets hit by Frogifies, and then you just don't have an Atraxa forever, right? There's a lot of things that really hinder the 7/7 lifelink portion of this, but sometimes it is good to have this sitting there. But, if you untap with this and your opponent didn't answer it, I would say you won because of the pile of cards you got from in hand, as opposed to having 7 damage a turn, stealing it from your opponent. But again, sometimes that doesn't matter. In the spirit of, proving that green is by far the best color, I'm just going to be doing that. So it's green and splashing the other colors for the best cards in the game. So you got Swords, Brainstorm, the Frogify of 1, Dark Ritual, Reanimate, and then all the really, really good 2-minute counter spells. There's another one, I think, that gifts your opponent food. There's another counter spell, so that might be in the top 5 of the counters, but these are just the 4 I'm running. Cyclonic Rift and River's Rebuke. Kama's in here because I like it. I don't know if this is the penultimate best creature you could play off of a Tooth and Nail or something, but it is very good against certain strategies. It's really good against certain strategies, so I am willing to, put that in here. Same with Gristlebrand, just a really good Tooth and Nail target. Sometimes it isn't, though, but for the most part, I'm going to go ahead and say it probably is. And then the 3 Eldrazi worth running. Craterhoof is in here because I still have a ton of smaller creatures. If it wasn't for those, then I would take this out. But again, this is still just in the spirit of being green, so as close as Nissa as I can get, the 7-mana Nissa as I can get, while also justifying Atraxa by playing the extremely degenerate cards of the other colors. I'm sure there are some cards not in here that you think might belong in here, like maybe Liliana or some other sort of, just all the other cards. I could name off a ton of cards, but I really think, again, maintaining a core green thing, this is just the best. This is just the best. Key to the Archive, a little variable, a little swingy, but there's been a lot of times where you don't need the best card off this, and it's just such a good card. It's so good. It really is. Let's be real. And I mean, I probably even want this in my Nissa deck. I might even want to just make room for it. It is disgusting. It really is. I initially didn't even mess with the lands that much. I cloned my Nissa deck, and then I just did this, right? So it was a bunch of 4s to start, but I almost don't want these, this wide of a range of non-green options in the deck, but we'll see. I don't believe I'll be color screwed. It's a little difficult to get color screwed in a 5-color deck, and, well, I suppose even harder in a 4-color deck. We're almost past the point of being color screwed in Magic in general across all formats, except maybe Standard or something. And that's just where we are, you know, it's been 30 years. I suppose that does make sense, right? And green has the easiest time of not getting color screwed. But I might want to go down like one of each of these and up some forests. I don't really know how I feel about this. There are some double whites, some double blues, and we'll see. We'll see. So, yep, that's it. Send it. Oh, I love Tesa. I love this commander. Opponent has an @ symbol in their name. I didn't even know you could do that. Okay, well, we have a phenomenal opener here. Again, everything we're wanting to do with one of the better cards that is not green. Plus got their work cut out for them, but this commander does a good job at being pretty fast, I will admit. It is not very likely. Yeah, I'm going to go get Breeding Pool. I definitely want a boost source on one. It's not super likely I leave up Mana Drain next turn, though, but it's still a good idea to just get blue. Because I'm going to need it at some point here. Alright, so them knowing my hand is actually really bad. Rather than not. Okay, they just take the Mana Drain anyways, so my hand is not as down and bad on it. I did not hit the second blue source anyways. Whoa! Wow, okay. I did hit the second blue source. I don't believe I am taking myself off of Mana Drain. Yep. Opponent sees it. Once I have the blue source, it's just a wrap, right? Like, that's it. Not the worst. Again, another commander that really wants a 1-drop. Not only does it have it, it has one that makes it uncounterable. So now we're just banking on them having nothing to do with Nadu, and sometimes that happens. I have seen it with my own eyeballs. I like my whole hand except this, so I don't think I'm cracking this. Oh, maybe I am. I should probably crack this. It's probably just a good idea to cast Cultivate, so... I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna... Yeah, this has to be correct here. It makes my brainstorm way more awkward, but we're never really upset with that, I don't think. There's no way that's wrong. Again, I have to do stuff because my opponent is Nadu. Okay, well, if they ever get doing things with, like, equipment, I almost just lose on the spot. Wait, what? Okay. Pick your poison. Cool. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw that card. I genuinely could not tell you. Okay, so leading with Brainstorm, or let's see, we'll do for 5. Probably. Oh, wow. Really? So, Kama's funny. I'm on the play this time? I'll feel a little bit better about that. This wants blue, white, and... I guess Raffine's Tower again. Yeah, it's usually just going to be Raffine's Tower, because it's my off-color, my triple off-color land, basically, so... Alright, do we have the 1-drop? Again, it feels mandatory. They actually don't this time. Crazy. I feel like they should always mulligan for a 1-mana answer to playing this on turn 2, right? I don't know why I said answer. A 1-mana Mana Dark. I said answer because my opponent's thinking, and I don't know what you could possibly be thinking about. Solitude? There's no way you Solitude this, right? I feel like you don't Solitude this. Maybe I'm wrong. I think they made Solitude a little too obvious because they took too long. Unless it's still Once Upon a Time. No, it's looking like... Well, it still could be Once Upon a Time. Alright, that's one of the best cards to go with Nadu. That is also a really good card. Oh, there's a lot of this, though. Alright, so it's screaming that it's Solitude. So I'm gonna cast this instead of Pock. Although I would probably cast Pock next turn and not this turn anyways. I'm hoping they just cast Subtlety so they stop robbing me of priority for 600 years, and they do. They pitch the Mana Drain? Avoid Slime, sure. Is this worth keeping? It's pretty good. And I don't know why I wouldn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep that. Yeah, I should have been saying Subtlety, and I think I was saying Solitude the whole time. That's my bad. You can see the power of not having a Mana Dork, though. They can't immediately trigger Nadu. Okay, now I'm just beside myself. My opponent just didn't have it in general. That's kind of disgusting. Sure. And, swing? Do I play the land? Because I have Pock, I suppose I will not. A lot of reaction for a hand with 2 lands. I mean, they're bound to find a land eventually. So that untaps a land. However, it doesn't give them a net mana because you have to untap it at a... Oh wait, yes it does. You can tap and untap, so they have it next turn, sure. Okay, I did draw a land. I would have preferred almost not to have done that. Let's play this, and then play the forest. I am very close to just losing now, though, I think. Kama does a decent job at, like, it's sure they get triggers, but maybe preventing me from dying or something. I don't believe they'll really play a 3rd creature for Defense of the Heart. Pock is a problem, though. I suppose Pock is actually an issue. Alright, yep, get wrecked. I just beat Nadu twice in a row. Both times, one without a Mana Dork and one with, and they had a lot of interaction, too. Actually had a lot of stuff to do. I would probably keep this as well. Alright, Keenan, here we go. This is the first Keenan matchup. This is where Nissa would be way better. River's Rebuke is interesting. Can I keep a hand like this? On the draw? Ooh, I don't know on the draw. I don't know on the draw. Okay, Heliod's Punishment isn't out. It is a card I have. I mean, I don't know if it's like an out, but it's also a really good draw. Do I Witness Protection this? There's no way I don't, right? Well, hold on. Do I Witness Protection? Sure. Why not? And then Heliod's Punishment their commander. Oh, wait. No, I don't have white mana. Oh, I don't have white mana. Oh, my goodness. I don't have white mana. What have I done? Alright, found white mana. Literally always had it. Literally always had it. So, Plains, Punishment, and we'll see from there. Having nothing here is kind of nuts, actually. Wow, alright. Oh, now I don't have black mana. Ooh, man, the fetch land on turn 1 is actually coming to really bite me. It's actually coming to really, really bite me here. Yikes. Yeah, alright. Fair enough, though. It's gonna happen sometimes, right? Alright, so I don't have double blue or any black. So no Atraxa. There was a lot of good draws, though. Oh, excuse me, I do have double blue. I'm stupid. Don't listen to me. Literally never listen to me. I'm unlistenable, too. Okay, well, everything got undone. They can have counter spells now, though. I suppose I can sort of bait it out with this. I don't really like to do that, though. I'm just going to send this. Why is this good game? What do you have? Okay, I don't know why they said good game. It's not like they're doing anything. That actually... Now I do need a land. Now I do need a land. Okay, I hit the land. So, black, blue, suppose just any basic will do. Yeah, just get that. And do we have a counter spell? Doesn't look like it. Emrakul, artifact, sorcery, instant, land. Oh, we get to flare the... Oh, I don't get to flare the Mystic. It's a blue card. Tragic. It's alright. Did I play my land? I already did. Okay. Okay, Atraxa in play. My opponent has 1, 2, 4, 5, 7 mana. They gotta be careful. I have Emrakul sitting here. That is an unbelievable attack. Okay, so cast this. Go to attacks. Suppose I should have done that first. And see if this works. And then fetch land and pass. What do we got? I think our opponent said good game a little too early. Just a little too early. Yeah, get wrecked. Yep, opponent thought they had something up their sleeve. Maybe they said good game thinking the counter spell wouldn't work. Or like, haha, I don't have any answer. And then I cast it and I did. I don't know, I could be reading into it, but... I didn't feel too good going into this, but yeah, that's... I mean, yeah, alright. Get wrecked. Ooh, Grenzo. Oh boy. Okay, Grenzo's pretty problematic. Grenzo does spooky scary. I don't like spooky scary. I like this hand too. I don't need the Birds of Paradise. It's actually really nice. Solar Transformer is so satisfying. Wayfarer's Bauble. Oh my goodness. Alright, so Key to the Archive surely is the right idea, right? Maybe not. Maybe I just go do something smarter like this. This feels slightly better, I think. Let's go get Rafine's Tower again. Yeah, I think this is slightly better. That was a good draw, let me tell you. So, again, think I'm... Actually, you know what? As long as the key sits here, I don't really need more mana, right? So I can probably just discard this to the key card. Honestly, even if the key does get blown up, I'm kind of set, so... All of these are actually terrible. Suppose I take that one and just get rid of it. Yikes. Yeah, that's just like actual trash. Oh well. It's not very common that you get like 3 really bad hits there. What the heck is this? Oh, right. Okay. Let's play Atraxa? Because I have Invasion and, I mean, yeah. I can find a counterspell. Oh, look, counterspell. Oh, look, Ulamog. This, that, that. And then just leave up counterspell? Good luck, opponent. I would never cast that. I mean, excuse me, counter that. Yep, you schmeed it. Okay, well, I will say so far I actually have about the same win rate as Nissa would, and I am playing in a higher bracket. If my opponent did not have Lightning Bolt that game, it was even worse, too. It was even worse. They had to bolt the bird. Otherwise, I was going to cultivate, and that would have been, you know, even worse. Ooh, Sithis. Okay, I haven't seen Sithis. I haven't played in Tier 1 and... excuse me, Bracket 4. I haven't played in Bracket 4 in quite a while. So it's kind of cool to see all this. Earl's pretty neat. I don't think I can keep this, actually. Kind of tragic. I don't think I can keep this either. Maybe I just should see what happens. I am on the draw, so we'll see what happens. Leyline of Anticipation seems borderline insane to me. It seems completely nuts. There's not a lot of things I would really like to do at instant speed that I can't already. I mean, it's nice to do that. It's just, is it worth a card in your opener? I don't think it is. Like, what, are you going to flash in a Menadork? You were going to do that anyways. You know, like, sure, I'm maybe not going to kill it, or I don't know. This is weird. Very weird. Very weird. Alright, so this is another hand where Bird's Paradise is not... It's not the end of the universe if it gets blown up. It does not get blown up. Do we expect a counterspell? Do we care? Nope. Unless it's mana drain, and then I guess in some way I would, in fact, care. I like what my opponent's doing. It looks like flooding the graveyard for Uro seems to be the idea here. Kind of. This cannot get an untapped blue source, I don't think, right? I don't think it can. I don't believe there's an untapped blue source off this card, if they had, like, Spell Pierce. Ooh, nice. I love it. Let's just get black out of the way, so I don't ever have to worry about it. Maybe double blue is slightly better, I think this is fine, though. I think it's fine. Alright, let's brainstorm maybe some of these thingies out of my hand here. So get rid of you and you. And then play Skewed Swarm? Because funny. Probably must counter. No counterspell, tragic. Always cracking this. I suppose I could just hardcast Flare. They need something quite serious now. I don't know what that is. Going into their next turn. I mean, countering the Flare doesn't... Okay, sure. Okay. Wait. What does that do? Brainstorm? Surely it's just Brainstorm, right? Yep. They can actually cast it right now, too, because of the Uro card draw? Or did that already... Oh, that already happened. That already happened. Never mind. This just gets rid of the Brainstorm, though, doesn't it? That kind of feels bad, right? Not sure if I completely agree with what my opponent did, but they do have the 6 mana for River's Rebuke now, so they can, like, you know, come back. Alright. I don't feel like I have to play any thing that gets hit by a counterspell, so I suppose I just won't do that. And I can just cast Delighted Halfling. Excuse me, Delighted Halfling. And yeah, I can do everything pre-combat. I can just do everything pre-combat. It's fine. There's no card that stops this. So. Ristic Study. Well, that's an awkward time to cast that. My opponent is not conceded yet, so it must be a... Thingy-maboop. River's Rebuke or something of the sort. Which, let's see, after the fact I would have... I would have 10 mana after that happens. And with the Analyze trigger or cast, which would let me cast Ulamog. But they do get Ristic value. Okay, they actually didn't have it. So, yeah, I don't really know why my opponent stayed in the game if you didn't have it and draw it. It's not really anything you could ever get other than fogs after this amount of mana has been spent. Gix. Okay, Gix is my first aggro matchup. Birds of Paradise loves to be in my hand, and I am all here for it. Let's get black in green, I believe. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I can't get Breeding Pool. Oh, wait, no, whoa, 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 whoa. Probably made it obvious it's in my hand now, but oh well. It's all good. Let's play this. So white and blue. Atraxa as a card can be kind of annoying for them, right? If all they're doing is poking me and drawing cards, it could be a bit of a stretch to get past the finish line, but we'll see. We will see. I kind of like double mana dork here, so I can block, but maybe I don't even want to block. Maybe that's just wrong. Maybe that's wrong. Okay. Yeah. River's Rebuke is not terrible this early, but it's not amazing. And I could literally double block these. But I think because my opponent is the deck that they are, I'm fine with this. I think I'm fine with this. Because, like, this is what they're drawing into with Gix. It's not like they're drawing, you know, Davriels and stuff. So I think I do gain a substantial amount of time casting this, so I will. But it doesn't just, you know, outright destroy my opponent. Let's get Breeding Pool. I really want to cast this as a ramp spell here. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can cast Atraxa and Counterspell up. Okay, they actually had a board wipe in their Gix deck, which to me makes zero sense, but sure. You got it. I don't think my opponent wins this by sweeping the board and letting me have another turn, but that's what they did. Brainstorm can be a game loser here. It is not. 1, 2... Alright, I really don't want to get rid of Ulamog, but I'm going to get rid of Ulamog here, unfortunately. But I'd prefer not to, if I could help it. Alright, so... Doesn't really matter what land this gets. This is a spot where Atraxa is definitely better than Nissa, because my opponent had Damnation. Yup. Okay. Uh-huh. Spot removal spells are a problem, but again, maybe the Atraxa trigger just gets us out of this. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like priority being held when there's nothing going on. Don't like that. Oh. Oh no, opponent. Oh no. Oh, no. Oh, they're spending mana on the equip too. Please spend mana on the equip. Yes. Oh, I'm not even sorry. I'm not even sorry. Hey, look at all that. Look at all that pre-combat mana spent, dude. Look at all that pre-combat mana that you just spent. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh hey, Overwhelming Splendor. Do 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 do. Who doesn't like a that thingy? I was about to say Gristlebrand. Analyze the pollen. Shall do it now. Collect les evidence. Actually, you know what? Let's keep that in the graveyard. I don't actually know what I'm getting with this. Let's just get something stupid, because I don't think it matters. I genuinely don't believe it matters. Oh, the price of having an afro. You can get hair stuck in your face all the time. Okay, well, this is an avenue that involves no attacking. Never mind. Let's get rid of this. You can draw your card off Shieldred. That's okay. I honestly might not have wanted to cast that, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because of Overwhelming Splendor. Although, to be honest, it probably doesn't matter if I cast it or not, because black only has Feed the Swarm. No other card matters. It's just Feed the Swarm here. Yep. Yep, I just completely blasted my opponent. Okay, so I played for quite a while, like a good while, like 2 hours, and I lost 3 games. I think it was 3 games. So this is actually up there with Nissa, and I didn't think it would be. All right, I did not think it would be. I thought Nissa would be way better than this. Atraxa has advantages that I didn't appreciate until having played it. I've played this before, I'm pretty sure. I think I have played this before. I manhandled every tier 1 deck I bumped into, which is very surprising. Granted, I did not see a Ragavan deck. But I am sort of prepared for Ragavan. It is a thing I can deal with, but it would be one of those matches I would have liked to have seen. I just didn't run into it. All the other stuff, I really did have just everything covered, which is kind of nuts. Even with so few non-green cards, I was able to interact just enough for my opponent to not be able to win. And when I cannot interact, the other thing that I'm doing, which is, the primary thing, casting a bunch of ramp spells, your opponent probably feels like they have to interact with that, right? So it's up to my opponent to now deal with what I'm presenting, as opposed to the opposite, where I'm trying to deal with what my opponent's doing. I believe because of that, it makes green stronger than, say, running Wrath of God, Day of Judgment, Crux of Fate, all those sweepers. I would much rather cast ramp spells, because I've started to really notice people really want to deal with your mana dorks, or any form of you casting ramp. And when they're doing that, they're not necessarily advancing their board state. So, yeah, I didn't cast a removal spell on my opponent's commander when they could cast it, but my opponent can't cast their commander because I have a permanent in play that's tapping for 2 mana, and they gotta blow it up, right? And because of that, it offsets your opponents, assuming they don't have, the ideal outcome of, perfect wash away and all this, and, finagling all their stuff while dealing with you. And that just puts you in a massive favorable position a lot of the times. Again, I barely lost, even against higher tier commanders. I did also play against, the mid-tier commanders, but Nissa will play against weaker things, unlike this. But again, that doesn't really matter if I can just sort of deal with whatever's on the opposite side of the battlefield anyways. The benefit of when your stuff gets annihilated, you get hit by a board wipe, which I think only happened once. Maybe, no, it happened a couple times. You just have Atraxa to gas back up, whereas Nissa would just make a giant token, let's say, or naturalize spam whenever your opponent's got going on, which is fine. This very rarely whiffs. It has the ability to whiff, which does, I maybe take that into a consideration just a little bit, but for the most part, you're not really whiffing, even if it does just draw 4 or 5 cards, or let's say 2 or 3. There's not a lot of bad hits even at 2 or 3 hits. There really isn't. I almost wanted Black Market Connections to be a tutor, because I had enough ramp, and I never really felt like I needed more cards, because once I was sort of out of gas, that meant I'm in a position where Atraxa is going to gas me back up, because my hands is close to being empty, ramp spells have been cast. If I'm completely out of gas and Atraxa is already in play, then I might just lose anyways. I don't think that's a scenario to take into consideration, but I guess that is something that could happen. Black Market Connections is maybe better off as Grim Tutor or just one of the black, any of the tutor spells. It doesn't even have to be a black one. It could be the white one, that Idyllic Tutor or the Legendary Tutor with Snowlands, and just find this all the time. Who knows? But honestly, Black Market is still a really good Dark Ritual turn 1 play. Extremely good, actually. It's still a black ramp spell. There's not exactly a lot of those. And it still does just draw cards, right? It does everything I'm not upset about doing, right? But there's definitely maybe something else you could take out instead of this for Grim Tutor. Maybe Entish Restoration was probably the weakest ramp spell, and it's still just good. It's still good, but it might have been the weakest one. Haro is just a better version of it in a deck like this because I'm not playing a bunch of mid-rangey big green things like maybe Nissa was, especially with the literal Nissa token, caring about this card specifically. So maybe this could have been something else. Honestly, the Worn Power Stone maybe is better here. I mean, we are actually quite color hungry, so maybe not Worn Power Stone, but some other kind of ramp spell. Preferably not a mana rock. Try to avoid the artifact mana, especially when higher tier commanders doing a pretty decent job at dealing with said mana rocks, as opposed to just straight up land-based ramp. But there's probably a better Entish Restoration slot for a ramp spell, honestly. Same with Pock here. Pock is just a relic of the Nissa deck, and I never got to play it in this specifically, but I can imagine it still just being good. I do not like Bristly Bill. I did end up taking that one out. I don't even think I even started with that. I'd have to go back and look, but I don't think I started with that. This had a slightly better time of casting Eldrazi as opposed to Nissa, which is really funny. I was like, oh, this has an easier time of putting them into your hand after you cast your commander, because your commander can find them off the top of your deck, as opposed to Nissa can't do that. But it is funny, I got closer to casting the Eldrazi than Nissa really ever did. It's kind of weird. The Tooth and Nail target was solid. The one-time Kama came up, it was excellent, so it just confirms my bias that Kama is just the best ever. With that being said, we could probably run Uro. Actually, whoa, wait a minute. Uro should have just been in here. Maybe just take out Entish Restoration and run Uro. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I'm not going to lie, I sort of forgot I could literally play Uro, and Uro was one of the things I played against. I kind of forgot I could play it. It's a solid enough card. It is a bit slow, but it is sort of a turn 3 ramp spell, or you always hope it's a turn 3 ramp spell, or even a turn 2 one, obviously, with the 1 mana thing there, right? Yeah, I like this. There's an argument that Entish Restoration should just be in here anyways, and I just take out Pock, because it costs 1 less mana. It also color fixes me, and Pock does demand lands from hand. Entish Restoration does not, so I don't even know if I like Pock that much in general in a deck like this. I did not find myself struggling for double blue on these. Actually, there was one game I think I accidentally got the wrong land, because I wanted to do something else and forgot maybe these matter. Fortunately, it didn't cost me that one game, but it was all right to never get mana screwed. Color screwed, excuse me. It was never an issue to get color screwed, which is really cool. Really, really cool. So if you want to play what is, from my experience at least, just as good as Nissa, I suppose at this point I might concede to the idea that this is just as good as Nissa, I can recommend this. My entire reasoning for playing this was to prove that Nissa was better. However, that sort of blasted back into my own face, and I found this to be just as good as Nissa, for different reasons. And the weaknesses of this that the strengths Nissa has over it sort of aren't really there. Like, this has downsides that Nissa doesn't, right? They have both their ups and downs. No two commanders are identical. And yeah, the few, like, I mean, just look at the color distribution. This alone, like, these cards alone, are so gross. They're so gross. I thought Nissa didn't need, like, these cards. This little tiny chunk right here to justify swapping over and making a deck that's, like, just as good or better. But I think I was just wrong. I think that the few off-colored cards I had were totally egregious. I mean, comma's not even one of them. This actually doesn't even count. That doesn't even count. This was so good. It was so good. So yeah, it's just another commander that's great. And the bracket 4 commanders had their work cut out for them trying to beat this, and I did not feel at a massive disadvantage wishing I was Nissa because I bumped into Keenan all day or something. And that's really neat. It's like a comfortable version of a bracket 4 commander, and I don't feel bad about that. So, can recommend. Can recommend. So let me know what you thought about this. Someone also wants me to play Gristlebrand next, and I don't know, I guess I will. It's definitely better than Valgavoth. I'll give you that. It's better than Valgavoth, but I don't know if I'll play it anytime soon. Who knows? Maybe I will. But let me know what you thought about this deck. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching and listening to me ramble.